Explain like I'm 5. Why do mobile phones, TVs and computers advance so much but domestic appliances don't? I mean, brands of electronics launch so many models of smartphones, tablets, computers and TVs with different RAM and storage capacities, inputs like HDMI and USB, screen sizes and so on that we can't decide which one to buy. But as I observed, domestic appliances like washing machines, dishwashers, ovens, fridges, irons, vacuum cleaners and so on nearly stay the same, and not many of them are launched so often. Their main functions approximately have stayed the same, except detergent adjusting and less water consumption for washing machines, for example, and ovens adjusting time of cooking according to type of dish, and robot vacuum cleaners, and appliances with Wi-Fi connection. Like the capacity of washing machine doesn't bother us, for example, but we're disappointed when buying a smartphone with 4 GB RAM and 64 GB storage but seeing another one with 8 GB RAM and 256 GB storage. Plus, we don't change domestic appliances as often as smart devices. Like I had a washing machine bought in 1997 working until 2022 but changed 9 mobile phones since 2006 to this day. Why is there such a difference? Their main functions approximately have stayed the same. Most modern appliances are significantly more efficient than the older ones. For example, older fridges, dishwashers and washing machines may consume 2 to 4 times more electricity and water. There is also many new features that you only see in the mid to high-end appliances. They cut so many corners in the cheap ones that the square might as well be round. It's because miniaturization doesn't help kitchen appliances. Making a cooktop or a refrigerator smaller doesn't benefit anyone. Conversely, miniaturization benefits computing devices greatly, because they can fit much more information processing into the same form factor. The development of tech recently, if not always, has largely been the development of miniaturization. And that benefits information processing far more than heating. What do they need to advance for? They do everything they need to and do it well. They don't really need to. Computers, smartphones, etc. do a lot of stuff and are still relatively new. So they need to advance constantly to handle new technology. Appliances are basically just there to accomplish a single task, and many of them have existed in some form for a few hundred years. So there's not a whole lot of room left to innovate. Irons are literally just a hot slab of metal. Blenders are just spinning blades in a jar, etc. There are 30-year-old microwave ovens that are better at heating up food than new ones. I guess the technology is just stagnating because it's already good enough, can't be significantly improved further. There is no great demand for a microwave that can heat up your food 10 faster when it's already only a minute. There is a high demand for the improved performance of mobile phones, TVs and computers though, because they have super important use cases. What advances do you need? For your hob to make the food hotter? Or fridge to make the food colder? Or microwave plate to spin your food quicker? You tell me. You are the one buying new phones every year while keeping your old appliances for 20 years. The thing is, you don't really care about advancements in things that only have one function. All I need the kettle to do is boil water. All I need the iron to do is get hot and pump steam. The only improvements you care about would be doing it faster. Besides, the newer, fancier design stuff is crap. I just had to buy a new dryer after 15 years. A lot of new designs out there, so before I made my choice I visited the local repair place and asked them what was good to get. He said stay away from the new stuff that has computers and fancy unneeded features like texting. you when your laundry is dry, and yes, that is a feature. Then he showed me his work lineup. All Samsungs. So I bought a nice simple Amana. I guess the main reason not stated before is the exceptional generalist nature of PCs and smartphones. Lots of different user scenarios can be transformed in a stream of signals and processed. While all household devices solve one or two similar problems, and that's all you can always get. Creative and fast dry socks using hairdryer, but that's still a very limited set of possibilities. Had we a customer-grade offline appliance that could manipulate atoms or molecules, it could progress at similar rates. I think a lot of people have covered most of the other reasons. But here's another. It's not that other things don't advance. It's that electronics advances at an insane rate with no precedent in any other technology. The advance of miniaturization has been unprecedented and insane. Moore's law saying that the number of transistors fitting into a microchip doubling every few months. It's not an exaggeration to say that if cars advanced the way microchips did, cars could now 1. Travel around the world on a tank of gas. 2. Travel at faster than the speed of sound. 3. Fly. I've noticed this. And why are there for e.g. no silent vacuum cleaners, Hoovers, when for e.g. pets and babies hate the sound? I think silent or very quiet dishwashers exist now though. Which is good? Needs versus wants. A fridge has to do a specific thing. Advances are usually around efficiency. And every now and then high-end versions come up with an innovation to push out the next quarter's product. A phone, on the other hand, is a fashion accessory. And for tablets and computers, software is evolving, which forces it to improve. The difference in things like smart devices isn't actually that big either. We are all falling for the hype when really more RAM or different CPU in a smartphone does not make a significant difference in usage unless your phone is like 6 or more years old. Because a lot of things just can't really be improved upon. Like an oven is still ultimately just an oven. You can add whatever digital timers or whatever, but at the end of the day all you're really doing is just sending electricity through a heating element. There's only so much you can optimize this design or improve upon it. That's what the bourgeoisie use to deliver propaganda. That's why everything is up in price except those items you mentioned. Some of the advancements in appliances relate to power consumption, reducing power required while maintaining the same or even better performance. For example, inverter aircons. I'd argue that, besides minor internal changes, phones have been at a relative standstill for the past few years. I think every technology reaches a sort of maximum in its design. And minute alterations can be cute but aren't fundamental. The first iPhone compared to the flip phones of the time was pretty profound. Now, it's thinner, bigger, smaller, faster, whatever. But the fundamental rectangle touchscreen has not changed much. You've clearly never owned a modern automatic vacuum cleaner that talks to you and maps your house using AI. Domestic appliances are designed to do one thing and do it well. There are literally decades of development in these things. Also, these things are tied to chores. And most people don't care about the grandest features in a thing that is only directly used for a few hours every month. So there is a lack of innovation pressure. They do advance. You can see into your fridge without opening the door. I just bought the GE washer-dryer combo. It all happens in one machine. I never have to switch clothes out. It holds enough laundry detergent and fabric softener for 32 loads, and I get a notification on my phone when it's done. That's some pretty major advancement.